This video is a continuation of and an amplification on my discussions on the subject of memorization. First of all, I would like to say that I'm gratified by your response to my video on an ancient Indian memorization technique. The video has crossed the 300,000 mark. The video has gained 300,000 views and is easily the star performer of the channel. I would like to thank my students, my well-wishers, my viewers for this overwhelming response. There is a very interesting comment made by viewer Chetan Tazim. Chetan Tazim writes, "Sir, memorization, is it a great thing in this advanced age of computers? You can simply feed the contents to the computers and recall all the details as and when you need. By hearting anything is not a good method of learning. That is what I feel." I concede that Chetan Tazim does have a point. We are indeed living in the age of computers, and we can very well feed our contents into the computer and retrieve it as and when we like. But that is not, unfortunately, that is not the full story. Memorization, even today, plays a crucial role in our lives. Take, for example, the case of a medical student, a student in a medical college. He has to learn the names of all the bones in the human body. And I am told that typically there are around 270 bones in the human body. In the case of an infant, and these bounds fuse to become something like 206 bounds in the human adult, and sometimes even more than that, 210 or 213. The medical student has necessarily to learn the names of all these bounds by heart. The computer, unfortunately, cannot come to his aid. You don't have to go to a medical college in order to realize the importance of memorization in any educational institution, irrespective of the discipline, irrespective of the subject. Even today, even in this computer age, memorization plays a key role in deciding academic performance. It is not merely as a student that we have to make use of memorization. Please don't think that once you cease to be a student, memorization is of no use to you. Take the case of a lawyer arguing his case in a court. If he remains glued to his notes and reads his notes out instead of arguing his case and very occasionally consulting his notes, he is bound to cut a very sorry figure in in court and less likely to get a favorable judgment from the bench. Or take the case of a teacher who again remains glued to his notes and reads his notes out to his students instead of teaching them. He again is bound to create a very poor impression, a very shoddy impression on his students. The point I'm trying to make is that memorization has a key role to play in our lives, and most people who succeed in their lives are persons who have mastered the methodologies of memorization. I would like to give a shout out to Ranganathan PV for his very insightful comment. Ranganathan PV tells us that his physics professor M.K.K. Menon used to make his students memorize the entire subject. And that Professor Menon used to say that he became a rank holder in his masters by completely memorizing his physics notes, running into some 2,000 pages. But the problem is that memorization is not exactly easy. It is often a very difficult thing. Memorization frequently fails to produce the results we desire. That is why I say that instead of opting for mere memorization, you must opt for more sophisticated processes of memorization. You must opt for R-memorisation, S-memorisation, and C-memorisation. Perhaps I should pause here for a moment and try to address a question which keeps popping up in the comment box and also in the WhatsApp messages that I receive in my WhatsApp number. There are many viewers who think that the whole idea of memorization is wrong. They feel that we should not memorize the target material. Instead, we should understand it. Why should you memorize the target material when you can understand it? This is the question which is repeatedly asked by viewers in the comment box and also, as I said, in the WhatsApp messages addressed to me. Well, I feel that this question is premised on a very incorrect notion. Those who ask this question seem to believe that understanding and memorizing are two diametrically opposed processes. Please don't say that. Please don't think that I'm against understanding. I am against comprehending. Who can be against it? It's really funny to say that you should not understand. It's really crazy to say that you should not comprehend the target material. But mere comprehension of the target material may not be sufficient in many instances. For example, in the examination hall. For example, in an interview. For example, in a viva voce. For quick recall, for speedy reproduction, memorization is essential. You should first comprehend the target material and then memorize the same. Comprehension plus memorization is equal to mastery. I repeat, comprehension plus memorization is equal to mastery. The point is that memorization by itself may fail. What is needed is more effective processes of memorization, more sophisticated processes of memorization. And they are R-memorisation, S-memorisation, and C-memorisation. R-memorisation is repeated memorization. It is not enough that you carry out the memorization exercise once or twice. You should repeat it. I should add that it is not enough that you repeat the memorization efforts. You should ensure that there is space between the efforts, that the repetitions are spaced. So what is required is repeated memorization efforts over a period of time with spaces between two individual efforts. What is required is spaced repetition. What is S-memorisation? Sleep memorization. You should carry out the memorization exercise as the very last thing of the day before going to sleep. Ensure that it is the very last thing that you do before hitting your bed. Even a phone call after that could disturb the process. Even a look at the screen of your mobile handset could disturb the process. Even saying good night to your partner may disturb the process. And certainly watching a television program after the memorization exercise and before hitting the bed is certainly unadvisable. It is taboo. Similarly, immediately on getting up in the morning, you should carry out the memorization effort. The idea is to sandwich your sleep with memorization exercises and to harness, the idea is to harness the immense powers of your subconscious mind. What is C-memorisation? C-memorisation is connected memorization. Very frequently, memorization fails because the target material is arranged in a haphazard manner, is arranged in a random manner. This is an example I am fond of giving. You have to memorize the various parts of the human body, the names of the various parts of the human body. beginning with the foot and ending with the head. You try to do it in a random way, in an unconnected way. Most probably, you will never ever succeed in gaining a complete mastery of the list, even after sustained effort. On the other hand, if you can visualize the human body and memorize the names of the parts of the body, beginning with the head and ending with the foot, and then reversing it, beginning with the foot and ending with the head, it will be a much, much easier task. So instead of mere memorization, try to work out connected memorization. I repeat, instead of opting for mere memorization, opt for repeated memorization, sleep memorization, and connected memorization.